Dear Aunt Lucy, you'll never guess what I've been doing. Ballet dancing.
No, Paddington. Not like that. Like this. You need Grace.
But I don't know anyone called Grace.
Grace means to move with ease. Like the great Russian dancer Sergei Oblomov. You'll see him perform at our school concert. And you'll be able to meet all my friends. They've heard so much about you.
Girls, please. Mr. Oblomov will be here any moment, and I want everything to be perfect.
Yes, Miss Grimshaw.
And I want you to be on your best behaviour.
Yes, Miss Grimshaw. I can't wait to dance the party doll with Sergei. He's so dreamy.
I'm sure he's looking forward to it too, Monica. Now, girls, remember, no screaming.
Yes, Miss Grimshaw. Look at Susie and Paddington!
Girls, come back!
He feels lovely. It's like silky cream. Even nicer than your picture, Paddington. Come along, we've lots to catch up on.
I told Mrs. Beadle all about you, and she's laid on some special marmalade sandwiches in the tuck shop.
Mrs. Beadle's laid on some marmalade sandwiches.
Girls, come back! Girls! I'm sure those girls were meant to swoon over him, not Paddington. He's not going to like it if there's nobody here to greet him.
Oh dear, I have a feeling this is the maestro now.
Oh.
What is this? No fans!
Mr. Oblomov, they were here, but,
What she means to say, Mr. Oblomov, is that the girls were here, but they got a little sidetracked.
By what?
A bear, actually.
A bear? What bear? Who is this bear?
His name's Paddington, and,
Mr. Oblomov, I'm terribly sorry. The girls will be here to greet you at any moment.
I have never been so humiliated.
Are you enjoying the ballet so far?
It's all right, but I can't hear what they're saying.
You're not supposed to. You have to guess what's happening by the way they're dancing.
And it doesn't look as if much is happening.
What? Sergei isn't performing. Why?
apparently he's upset because no one was there to greet him when he arrived. And Monica is so devastated, she's locked herself in her room.
Oh, Paddington, it's all my fault. I should have introduced you to the girls after the show.
I knew if I didn't do something quickly, the show would be ruined.
What's going on, darling? I smell trouble. Speaking of trouble, where is Paddington?
He was here a moment ago. Oh, no.
Please, Sergei!
No, I will not go on.
He's only a bear.
Only a bear? It's a good thing Mrs. Bird didn't hear you say that.
You are that bear.
I'm very sorry about what happened earlier, Mr. Oblomov. The girls will be very disappointed if you don't dance.
Well, if you insist, I have changed my mind. I will not disappoint my fans. First, I will do my famous solo. Then the pas de deux. I trust everything is in order.
No, I mean, yes, I'm sure it will be. Paddington, you've got to stall Sergei while I coax Monica out of her room. seeing.
I'm afraid so.
You! Again! And what is this?
Don't worry, Mr. Oblomov. It's only marmalade.
Huh. I cannot go on. For one thing, you have too much shortness. And for the second thing, your entresha. They are not clean.
My entresha are not clean. But I had a bath last night.
I do not mean they are dirty. I mean they should be clean, snappy, like so.
It's a bit difficult when you've only got paws, Mr. Oblomov. But I'll have a try.
Paddington, are you all right?
You were wonderful. Even Monica said so.
How did you manage those high jumps?
Cause and effect. We've removed the cause and he'll soon get over the effect.
So you see, Aunt Lucy, dancing with Mr. Oblomov wasn't so hard. All you need is one large open safety pin, and the sky's the limit.
There you go, Mr. Brown. All polished up and as good as new.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gruber. I can't think how it got so scratched.
When you remember all the thousands of miles we have traveled together, it is not so surprising. Besides, real leather needs feeding from time to time.
Perhaps it would like some marmalade.
I think not, Mr. Brown. Do you remember our first trip together? I was planning the opening chapter for my book, The World and Its Wonders. Camera, passport, traveler's checks.
Don't forget the map of France, Mr. Gruber.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Where would I be without you?
In Russia?
There is many a true word spoken in jest, Mr. Brown. I could do with someone like yourself to help me on my travels. Always willing to lend a paw. Perhaps it isn't such a fanciful idea after all. You could be my man Friday. Or perhaps I should say my bear Friday.
What about the rest of the week, Mr. Gruber?
If you will excuse me, Mr. Brown, I have a telephone call to make.
You want Paddington to go to France with you? To help you with your book? The one your millionaire customer is paying you to write? Excuse me a minute, Mr. Gruber. Henry!
I was delighted that you could accompany me on my trips to plan itineraries and do research.
Yes, and since we were going to France, Mr. Brown lent me his old beret, and Jonathan gave me that fake moustache. But planning an itinerary wasn't as easy as it sounded. I think I must have turned left at the end of Windsor Gardens by mistake.
Paddington, are you all right in there? I hope you haven't made a mess. I only tidied up this morning. Paddington? Oh,
Excusez-moi.
I beg your pardon?
I didn't know you understood French, Mrs. Bird. You can borrow my book if you like.
Useful phrases for the traveller abroad. Well, you mind you don't give yourself a headache with all those new words.
I won't, Mrs. Bird. Au revoir.
Paddington may be ready for France, but are the French ready for Paddington?
Remember, Mr. Brown, I'm counting on you to take notes for future reference.
Note number 1. Remember to take notes.
Paddington, I think that must be your plane. Wow! Fancy flying in your own private jet. Mr. Gruber's benefactor certainly isn't cutting any corners.
I'll be interested to see how many times your passport gets stamped before you've completed your book, Mr. Gruber.
Oh, mercy me! Passports! What about Paddington?
Do bears need one?
I don't imagine Paddington's got a passport, knowing his circumstances.
Did you say there's someone travelling without a passport? Where is this individual?
What?
This definitely isn't on the itinerary. Someone's left their table tennis pass.
So that is the gentleman in question. I shall need his full name and address.
Well, he isn't actually a gentleman. He's a bear. We called him Paddington after the train station.
You're telling me I'm dealing with a bear? What's more, one without a passport, travelling under an assumed name. This will all have to be fully investigated.
Put down those paddles!
But I was only practicing my table tennis shots. Then that aeroplane started coming towards me.
Now we can get it from the bear's mouth. Where are you from?
Well, it depends. You see, I live at number 32 Windsor Gardens, but I come from darkest Peru. I stowed away in a lifeboat and...
A stowaway? This is a serious matter. I shall have to ask you to come with me and have your credentials checked.
Have my credentials checked? But I felt all right at breakfast. That's a false moustache that Jonathan gave me. And that's my notebook. I'm supposed to write down everything I see.
Are you in the pay of some foreign power?
Oh, no. Mr. Gruber comes from Hungary, but I don't think he's paying me.
What's that?
It's a marmalade sandwich. I always keep one in case I have an emergency, and I think I've got one coming.
I wonder what else you've got hidden away. There's something very fishy about this suitcase. For a start, it's smaller on the inside than it should be.
That's because it's got a secret compartment.
Oh dear, Paddington can look very suspicious sometimes, especially if you don't know him.
Of course, I blame myself for not thinking about Paddington's circumstances before I suggested the trip.
If that bear is in trouble, they'll have me to deal with.
You don't think they'll send Paddington back to Peru, do you?
They wouldn't, would they?
They mustn't.
Over my dead body.
What would we do without him?
They can't.
Paddington, what happened?
Everything was cleared up when I showed them my passport.
You have a
passport?
Of course. My Aunt Lucy would never have let me travel all this way without one.
All's well that ends well, Mr. Brown. But why ever didn't you say so?
Nobody ever asked me, Mr. Gruber. Except for the nice lady.
The nice lady?
I must say this marmalade sandwich is awfully good. You don't happen to have any more, do you? Hidden away?
No, but I have a jar of marmalade if you have some bread and butter.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Bears always land on their feet.
Mrs. Bird was right. And it's a good thing they do, Mr. Brown. In our many adventures since then, I've learned that with you as a travel companion, anything can happen.
And usually does. Dear Aunt Lucy, just imagine my excitement when I found the Browns and I had been invited to a fancy dress ball. Of course, to go to such an affair, one needs the right clothes. Oh, not to mention a good tailor.
Perfect. Don't move. Oh dear. This will be difficult. The gentleman's legs are a bit... Still, we've never been beaten yet. May I ask, is that your copy of Duncan Hyde's restaurant guide? Ah, to eat at an establishment he has rated worthy of 5 bowler hats. That would be heaven.
I'm treating my family to a lunch out today, so I asked Paddington to find us a good place to go.
If I may be so bold, there's a new restaurant just opened up underneath this shop. The food there is simply exquisite.
Ah, so you've tried it then?
Well, no, but the menu is a work of art.
Oh, why not? Paddington, we'll meet you there when you're finished here.
Speaking of bowlers... and inspiration. I have a feeling this is the beginning of a great adventure in fashion.
Change the way you feel, dress a different way. Try a brand new look and have some fun today. A gangster suit can look real slick, a wide rim hat with silver tick. Groovy clothes can make you swing, snap your fingers and want to sing. Disco clothes make you feel alright, make you want to dance on Saturday night. Change the way you feel, dress a different way. Try a brand new look and have some fun today. have some rhythm and soul. Dress up like the king of rock and roll. Thank you very much. Plain and simple or stylish flair, it's hard to know just what to wear. Change the way you feel, just a different way. Try a brand new look and have some fun today.
The tailor wanted to deliver the suit, but I decided to wear it there and then. I couldn't wait to show the Browns my new outfit.
I don't understand it. We've been open for 2 weeks now and still no sign of a review in the newspaper from Duncan Hyde. If only we knew what he looked like. All we have to go on is his silly newspaper picture. How am I supposed to attract business if the most famous restaurant reviewer in London won't even step through my door? It's him! At last!
May I be of assistance, sir?
I noticed you're not in the book, but I was hoping I might be able to do some testing later on. I think some of your dishes might be worth a bowler.
Good afternoon, sir. May I say what an honor it is to have you here with us today? May I show you to our very best table?
This restaurant was seeming nicer by the minute, Aunt Lucy. I was sure Duncan Hyde would enjoy it.
Get this gentleman whatever he wants. He need only sign the bill.
You might like to try the chef's salad bombay, or the shish kebab flambé, the fruit de mer sauté, or perhaps the risotto batto.
Those all sound good.
Such dedication to duty. Start the gentleman on the salad bombay.
I had never seen such food before, Aunt Lucy. The first dish cleansed my palate, and the second warmed it up. I plunged into the third course with gusto. All in all, it was a magical experience.
Peking duck. Rack of lambs.
Goodness, look how much that bear's eaten.
Do you think he's trying for some sort of world record?
Would sir care for a digestif, cognac, armagnac, Cointreau, or perhaps a nice chilled dessert wine?
Do you have any hot cocoa?
I have a feeling you're trying to catch us out. Perhaps you would like to cast an eye over our selection of sweet temptations.
I'd rather eat them, but I really should save some room. I'm having lunch with the Browns.
Oh, how nice.
Look at how much he's eaten. It must be some kind of publicity stunt to drum up customers.
Well, he's certainly making me feel hungry.
Goodness, what a popular place. I hope we can get a table.
I don't see Paddington. He must still be at the tailor's.
If you would just sign this, sir.
What's this? Do you mean to say you're not Duncan Hyde, the famous gourmet?
Duncan Hyde? My name's not Duncan Hyde. It's Paddington Brown from darkest Peru.
I saw his bear. He ate huge amounts.
Wait till it's very
A bear with hollow legs.
no money.
Come on, everyone. I think we have some rescuing to do. Excuse us.
£300 for a meal.
About 10 meals by my reckoning.
£20 for a bomb surprise.
That's all part of the surprise.
Well, I've got one for you. I've only got 10 pence.
Does this young bear belong to you?
Well, actually,
Henry, how could you?
since you ask, I'm afraid he does. Belong to us, that is. Come now, no need to worry about mere money. Having that bear in here has brought me more customers than even the best review from Duncan Hyde. I owe you a vote of thanks, my young friend. Please sit, everyone. As friends of this bear, you are all welcome to lunch on the house. Well, Paddington, why don't you order first?
I think perhaps I might just sit and watch, if you don't mind, Mr. Brown. But I know what I'd like to do first. May I please borrow a pen?
Of course.
I'm afraid I can't award you any bowler hats. But here are 5 Peruvian ones instead. Dear Aunt Lucy, last night I gave the Browns some of my special homemade toffee for dessert. What do you think of it, Mr. Brown?
It's quite unique.
Where did you find the recipe, Paddington?
It was handed down to me by my uncle in darkest Peru, Mrs. Brown.
I should think he was glad to be rid of it.
More toffee?
Oh.
I was just about to brush my teeth, but I couldn't resist one more piece of toffee. My uncle used to say it's very good exercise for the jaws.
I think Paddington's toffee could have industrial applications as a super cement.
Paddington, what's wrong?
I lost one of my teeth. I know I had it this morning.
I can see where it was. The bottom half is there, but the top must have broken off.
But I've had that tooth since I was born. And it was my best one.
It's a pity you've lost a broken piece. You could have left it under your pillow for the tooth fairy. She would have given you 5 pence for it.
Perhaps we can find it. Oh.
We've searched everywhere, but no luck.
That means I shan't get my 5 pence.
Cheer up, Paddington. It could have been worse. If you'd lost a whole tooth, it would have been 10 pence.
10 pence? Someone ought to tell the tooth fairy Bear's teeth are worth a lot more than that. I bet she's got all her teeth.
Are you all right, Paddington? Does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt, Mrs. Brown. It just feels empty. I had to take good care of what was left. You never know with tooth fairies. I don't think I shall have any breakfast this morning. The spot where my tooth was is starting to hurt.
That's it. I'm calling the dentist.
I wonder if we should be taking him to the dentist. Or the vet.
The vet?
It was good of Mr. Leach to see a new patient like Paddington so quickly.
Who said anything about Paddington? I simply said there was an emergency in the family.
Don't you think you're a little overdressed, Paddington?
Jonathan told me I might be frozen.
Oh, he didn't mean the whole of you, dear. Just the bit round your tooth, so that it won't hurt.
There's nothing to be afraid of, Paddington. Mr. Leach has been practicing for years.
Practicing? Couldn't we pay extra and get someone who knows what he's doing?
Open wide. We're ready to begin. I'm afraid I shall have to charge extra. Bears have 42 teeth.
But I've only got 41.5.
That's still 9.5 more than I normally deal with.
I expect some of mine are spares in case of an emergency. Like the marmalade sandwich I keep under my hat.
It looks to me as though we've been eating something we shouldn't.
Have you been making toffee too, Mr. Leach?
No, I haven't. Now, open wide.
I must say, going to the dentist wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. There was a comfortable chair, a lamp to keep me warm, and it was all over in no time.
There.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leach. I didn't feel a thing.
Because I haven't done anything yet. I have to give you an injection first.
Oh!
Now, just stay where you are for a moment. I'll be right back.
I thought the injection must be the freezing Jonathan told me about, so I decided to have some fruit juice first. Oops. Then I noticed that Mr. Leach had left his vacuum cleaner plugged in.
Ow!
Oh.
Well, seems we're all comfortable and ready to start. Open wide, please.
How do you think it's going? It's awfully quiet in there.
They say no news is good news.
Are we ready for our injection now? And please understand, this will hurt me more than it will hurt you. There we go. All done.
That didn't hurt at all. Would you like me to give you your injection now, Mr. Leach?
Certainly not. Whatever next.
But you said yours would hurt more than mine.
I need to take a wax impression. Now, say ah, then bite down hard and don't let go for anything.
Oh dear.
That was my thumb, or what's left of it.
But you said don't let go for anything, Mr. Leach.
Would you like us to come back another day?
No, no. When I first became a dentist, I was told some days would be worse than others, and I won't be beaten now. If I'm going to fit this young bear with a new gold top to his tooth, I'm going to finish the job.
A new gold top?
It'll make you even more valuable than you are now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leach. Perhaps you'd like to try one of these.
It's very kind of you. I don't normally indulge. It doesn't set a very good example, but perhaps just this once.
Oh dear, Mr. Leach. I hope you haven't done what I did. But I'm afraid he had, Aunt Lucy. On the other hand, it gave me an idea. I unwrapped the toffee I'd started the night before, and there was my tooth. I put the 5 pence the tooth fairy left me towards buying the ingredients for making softer toffee. I hope you enjoy it.
Nurse!
Mr. Gruber and I were visiting London's Natural History Museum, where there was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. What is it, Mr. Gruber?
That's a diplodocus, one of the largest dinosaurs ever to roam the Earth.
Large? It's huge. But just skin and bones. Well, just bones, actually.
It's a fossil of a dinosaur that lived millions of years ago.
Oh, I was wondering how it got down those stairs. Wouldn't a creature like that make a wonderful chapter in your book?
The world and its wonders. Precisely why I brought you here, Mr. Brown. We are off to visit an old friend of mine in Canada to go on a dinosaur dig in the Alberta badlands.
Peekaboo! Hey, Gruber. Long time no see.
Indeed it is, Dr. Canmore. And may I introduce you to my friend?
Paddington Brown of 32 Windsor Gardens, London, originally of darkest Peru.
Pleased to meet you, Paddington. I see you admire our Albertosaurus, originally of the darkest Jurassic. The Albertosaurus was one of the fiercest flesh-eating dinosaurs.
Flesh-eating?
Speaking of eating, we finished. But do you guys want some lunch?
No, thank you. I'm not particularly hungry right now, Doctor. Why is a doctor needed here? Are the dinosaurs ill?
No, Mr. Brown. Dr. Canmore is a paleontologist, a scientist who studies ancient life.
That means anything before Gruber here was born. Come on, I'll show you around. This is where we dump rock after checking it for fossils. There's a lot of digging in paleontology.
Bears are good at digging. Perhaps I could be a
Think of Dr. Canmore as a dinosaur detective, Mr. Brown.
A detective? That means you have to search for clues.
Yes, but my clues are hundreds of millions of years old. In fact, you're standing in one right now.
A footprint.
Paddington, I'd like you to meet my research assistant, Archibald Didsbury. Why don't you show Paddington round your dig?
According to Mr. Didsbury, the dry badlands used to be a big wet swamp when the dinosaurs lived here. It all seemed quite fantastic.
Don't touch that! Oh, paleontology is a most precise science. We must know the exact position of every bone.
Oh, I wasn't going to move it, Mr. Didsbury. It's much too big.
Any mistake could mean a difference of millions of years in our calculations. Very important, especially if we discover a new dinosaur.
There are new dinosaurs, Mr. Didsbury. Live ones.
All dinosaurs are old and dead. There are just some we haven't found yet. Hand me that brush, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Didsbury.
Say, Paddington, isn't it? It would be a great help to us if you could check to see if we missed any fossils back at where the big machine is.
I'd love to help, Mr. Didsbury. But will the hose go that far?
No need for the hose. Just get out of here. I mean, just get digging.
It was a big responsibility to be in charge of a dig on my first day as a Dinosaur detective.
Bones, 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 digging for bones, picking around these rocks and stones. Long ago, in years gone by, dinosaurs ruled the earth and sky. Some were large, some were small, some we know were very tall. Bones, 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 bones. When they walked, the earth would quake. The sound of their roar made the earth shake. And when they died, left only bone. And over time, it turned to stone. Dinosaurs were colossal. Now all that's left is a fossil. Dinosaur detectives got a job to do. Gonna dig around, gonna find a clue. Bones, bones, digging for bones, picking around these rocks and stones. Bones, bones, digging for bones, picking around these rocks and stones for bones.
Mr. Didsbury! Mr. Didsbury! Ow! Mr. Didsbury, I found a fossil! It's not a big one, I'm afraid, but have you ever seen one like it?
Yes! It was called lunch!
My dinosaur!
My marmalade!
Luckily, I still had a bit of string, so I thought I'd try using it to get my marmalade back.
Hey, Didsbury!
Oh, I thought you were that bear. If he isn't soaking me, he's making dinosaurs out of chicken bones and... Oh, now what has he done?
Mr. Gruber!
I've got you, Mr. Brown. A fossil. I've never seen anything like it.
It's some kind of hair-bearing therapsid from the Permian period, an ancestor of today's mammals.
I've got you, Mr. Brown. Look, Mr. Brown, if you screw up your eyes, it almost looks as though it could have been pushing some kind of early shopping basket on wheels which has tipped over. Perhaps it had an accident on its way home with the shopping.
Maybe he didn't make it because there was some cataclysmic upheaval.
You should look around, Mr. Brown, and see if there's any prehistoric shopping lying around.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Gruber. There's only my jar of marmalade. But my jar had a label. Could it have belonged to the dinosaurs after all?
We will never know the truth, Mr. Brown. But in this world of wonders, all things are possible. In any case, this will make a good ending to my chapter.
Actually, I know an even better one. Paddington gets to name this new discovery.
I would like to name this new species of dinosaur the Paddingsaurus Marmaladous. Dear Aunt Lucy, last Saturday Mr. Brown took us to Brightsea for the day, and I went on the pier. There was so much going on, I didn't know what to look at first. Did you see that? That lady looks as though she's gliding on water.
It's called water skiing. I wish I could do that.
I wonder where you get the skis.
At Signor Alberto's water skiing school. Look! Signor Alberto guarantees to teach anyone to ski. Crash courses given daily.
Crash courses? I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Come along, everyone. Mr. and Mrs. Brown will be wondering where we've got to.
If I may, Mrs. Bird, I'd like to stay here for a while.
All right, then. We'll be at the fun fair.
Oops. Mrs. Bird, you forgot your umbrella. Mrs. Bird! Oh dear, I better hang on to it for her. I wanted to know more about these crash courses, so I went off in search of Signor Alberto.
It's a day at the pier, and we're here with local water skiing instructor, Signor Alberto. Tell me, Signor, how's business?
Well, darling, used to be everybody wants at the water ski. Now it's at the parasailing. What you gonna do? Life has its ups, and it has its downs.
Excuse me, Signor Alberto, if I took one of your crash courses, would I need a helmet?
Crash courses? No. It's just an expression. No one is crashing. It's a hurry up to learn. Capiche?
A television camera? Is your program shown in darkest Peru? Hello, Aunt Lucy. I hope you got my last postcard.
Hey, Sonny, we are very busy here, eh?
But I only wanted to inquire about water skiing lessons.
Anytime, anywhere, at the Senior Alberto's School of the Water Skiing, I can teach anyone to water ski. Only not today. I'm busy with this very important television interview. Hey!
So sorry, Signor, we just don't have time to wait. Perhaps some other time. Ciao.
Ah, Mr. Alberto, might you have the time now?
Mamma mia! After you lose me all of that free publicity, what a chance you get a lesson from me!
Why so glum?
I wanted to take one of Senior Alberto's crash courses.
Excuse me, lad. That wouldn't be a marmalade sandwich, would it?
Yes. Would you like half?
Don't mind if I do. Stanley's the name.
I'm Paddington Brown. Pleased to meet you.
You can't fool me. I knows a marmalade sandwich when I smells one.
Paddington, meet my good friend, Oliver.
Would you like my half, Mr. Oliver?
Right neighbourly of you, Paddington. I was feeling a bit peckish. But what are you going to eat?
Not to worry, Mr. Oliver. I always keep a spare one under my hat in case of an emergency.
Eating again, eh? And whose lunch month should be scrounging off this time?
Paddington here practically forced it on us. A regular silver tongue if ever I heard one.
Yes, and I'm the Queen Mother. Come on then, boys, or we'll miss the hairy legs contest.
Would you happen to know what the first prize is this week, Maggie?
You'll never guess. A water skiing lesson from Senior Alberto.
Did someone mention a hairy legs contest?
Very hairy indeed.
What do you mean Paddington's entered a contest?
You'll see.
Finally, something halfway interesting to use for our report.
What day at the pier would be complete without a contest or two, and today is no exception.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen all the contestants. Remember, it's your applause that will choose the winner of our hairy legs contest.
Who, let's not forget, will receive a free crash course.
Crash course?
Did I say a crash course? I meant hurry up to learn course. Capisce?
Is it contestant number 1? Or is it number 4? Or number 7? Yes, it's number 7. Let's hear it for number 7. Here's our winner. A bear can't win a hairy legs contest.
You didn't say anything about bears not being able to enter.
That's discrimination, that is.
Give him the prize.
Well, like I said, we have our winner.
No, I cannot teach a bear to water ski.
But your poster said you can teach anyone.
What do you say to that, Signor Alberto?
Like I said, anyone.
Anyone. The funny thing about life, Aunt Lucy, is that sometimes you get what you wished for, and other times you begin to wish you hadn't wished for it in the first place.
Keep your legs together and your knees bent. And just shove, ready to go faster.
I'm afraid my knees are a bit near the water to start with.
Okay, faster it is.
Oh dear. Senior Alberto, I can't seem to master this.
Faster this, okay.
Senior Alberto, slow down. Oh no, not up, down.
Wow! Look at Paddington.
Now, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? It certainly looks like business will be picking up, Signor Alberto.
Well, it's like I said, life has its ups and it has its downs. And now, thanks to this young bear's gimmick, it has its ups.
I thought you might enjoy seeing these photographs which Mr. Brown took of my first flight, Aunt Lucy. But I think from now on I'll leave the flying to the birds, because like the old saying goes, what goes up must come down.
Ah, nephew. You certainly are a bear who has his paws firmly rooted on the ground. Most of the time.
sailed to England alone. There he met the Browns and they took him home. Now a new life has begun. He's Windsor Garden's favorite son, 'cause he always does his best to help everyone. When a problem appears, he never misses a beat, and always finds a way to land on his feet. Has his very own unique point of view, looks at everything as if it's brand new. He is friendly and polite, and he tries to do things right, but he gets in sticky messes just the same. He's curious and speaks his mind, but trouble's never far behind. It's Paddington Bear, he's one of a kind.
I'm Paddington Bear.